Yeah. So what I
Is
do is I
Ern
do
in the
the
back?
live stream for about I do the live stream for maybe half of the interview, and then I get off and tell people they need to download it.
Sure. Yeah.
So I do want to make sure that we talk about any of your pay-per-view stuff in that first half hour so that that gets
Yeah.
out to the people watching live too.
Sure.
And we are live now. So okay. Hi Mike, how's it going?
Good.
Well,
How are you?
welcome to the Behind the Bits podcast, the most professional podcast in the world.
Obviously,
So we're
I'm shooting from my camera in Lowville, New
yeah.
York. So yeah, we've arrived.
I never wanted to do video
Hmm.
because look at my face and but everybody's doing it, so I just
Sure.
went in headlong. So now I do video and doing the talk show on Thursdays and stuff like that. So whatever. I'll just I'll go ahead and put myself
Yeah.
out there a little bit.
Well, you know what, too, with this COVID-19 thing, and the barbershops being closed, it's like, man, I need a haircut badly.
Yeah, as you
My
can
wife
tell,
tried
I've
to
been
like
cutting my
cheer me
own.
with, yeah, my wife tried to like, take these, what do you call it? Like the at-home razor,
Yeah,
the cutters or whatever. And she tried to like cut my hair a little bit, but we only had like, I want to say it was like, there's numbers, right? Like a
yeah.
3 and a X number of inches, whatever. And so once you hit a certain point, you can't cut it any shorter. And so I
Yeah.
go, do you have any more of the blades? And she's like, or the, things. And she's like, no, I lost them. I'm like, yeah, I guess we're going to have to go with the Amish look. So,
Yeah, I've got shears, and I just every couple of weeks I've been going at it. I don't think it looks great, but mine was getting like yours, except for I'm bald on top, and it was almost looking like a comb over.
right.
So I had to go.
Yeah. This is, I didn't want a mullet. I had one of those, I think back in the 80s, whatever. It was more like a, Billy Ray Cyrus type of thing. But, I was an 80s rocker. So I had long hair. I had it like loosely permed like Eddie Van Halen or whatever. But, it's going to be like that again if I don't get to a barber shop
Yeah, no
soon,
doubt.
man. What happens?
So while we're
Yeah.
waiting on Ern, we might as well get started. Normally, when I talk to comics, I like to find out, first of all, when you started comedy. And I've been kind of looking at your history. It looks like you maybe started after already establishing yourself in business. Is that right?
Well, what happened was I was doing a podcast. I was doing the Funny Business Radio Show, which I recently kicked back up again after a long hiatus because I was on the road. But I was doing the Funny Business Radio Show where I was interviewing comedians and celebrities. I had like Dave Coulier from Full House on my show, Ed
Mhm.
Asner from the Mary Tyler Moore Show. We did a couple of shows about autism aware, and then this guy was
Here.
producing a show up in Watertown. This guy was producing a show up in Watertown, and he said, and I said, hey, cool, man, that's my hometown. He said, do you want to perform? And I said, yeah. Now, I had never done comedy, and I never told the guy I had never done comedy. So how it ended up is O headlined a show with Booty McCarthy. He was a semifinalist on Last Comic Standing,
Mhm.
and my first set was 45 minutes.
Wow.
So I'm like, I'm either going to sink or I'm going to swim, and I treaded water. That's
Holy
how
cow.
I got into it. It's been about 8 years now.
It's funny. Almost everybody I talk to that has any kind of comedy success has been thrown into something that they weren't ready for and got through it. And it just seems like a common
Mm-hmm.
theme. Ern, I'm glad you got on. How you doing? Can you hear me, Ern?
What's up, Ern?
What's happening? For
Hey,
some
good.
reason, every time Scott speaks, I can't hear him, but I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you, Scott, but I can hear Mike.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know what else I can do with my mic to make that hot for you. That's going to make for an interesting interview if Ern can't hear me.
It might be the stream a little bit too. The stream seems like it's not fully,
Right, but I don't hear Mike. I don't hear Scott at all.
or something.
I don't hear anything Scott had to say at all.
Oh.
Not a
Yeah.
chirp, nothing.
Hey, Mike, tell Ern I'm going to kick him
sure.
and have him
Damn
come back.
StreamYard. Could be the weather too.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but I think once we brought him in, it started going a little squirrely.
Yeah, I
Can
was
you hear
getting
me
kind
and see
of.
me okay now?
Yeah, you're still good.
Okay. I might have to go. I'm in McDonald's parking lot, which I love McDonald's. I'm loving it, right? And so I'm using their Wi-Fi, but I should probably go just use my data or something. I don't know. Maybe that would be a better connection.
Actually, you're pretty good.
It might be me.
Yeah. When you were on, I mean, you've been fine.
Okay. So I'm not sure.
I told Ern to get back in, so we'll see if that happens.
Okay. So yeah, people ask me all the time, like, how do I break into comedy? I said, write 5 minutes worth of funny stuff, open mic. Okay. Don't do what that was not a conventional way to break into comedy, was doing a 45-minute set. That was, people are like, how did you do that? Well, I had some stuff that I already thought about, like why America, quote unquote, runs on, and my philosophy was always, there's a secret ingredient in their coffee, crack cocaine. So, and not a lot, because it would cost you $80 for a cup of coffee, right? Just enough to keep you coming back. A little bit of this, it's a little bit of that, and here's your cup, crack, 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 crack.
Yeah.
It's the Dunkin' dance. But I wrote a song about it called Dunkin', which I do musical parodies like that. So I already had stuff in my arsenal in my thought process about, Tic Tacs or the magical breath mint. One Tic Tac can temporarily mask your close friends' chronic halitosis, right? Supercalifragilistic mask your halitosis. And so there's been stuff bits I've been doing for years, man, that new stuff in there. But some of the stuff from my original set, I still do.
I found the Duncan video. Looks like Ern's back. Let's see how this works. Hey, Ern, can you hear me now?
I heard you from the beginning, Scott.
Okay.
Yep, I hear you 100%, brother.
Oh, excellent. There must have been something twitchy about the stream. So,
what about Mike? Mike, can I hear your Mike speak? Earth. Mike, speak.
Mike, can you hear Ern?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear Mike now.
I can hear you, man.
Okay, cool.
Okay, good.
It seems like the stream isn't full speed. I don't know.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's even harder when
the slowest device, Mike. Hint.
I got to switch over. I got to switch over to visible. I should have done that already, but I'm still
all good.
So, going back, what gave you the idea to do the podcast, Mike? Did I lose Mike?
Mike, he's talking to you.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost him.
So while Mike's gone, at least we can talk.
Sure. So at least I'm here.
He'll get back in. I think maybe he said he was on McDonald's Wi-Fi. Sometimes that gets kind of funky.
Oh, fuck yeah. It's like a house.
So before I talk about how you guys met and got together, what started you into comedy, Ern?
I told you I was bullied into comedy by Joe Face Becker.
Yeah.
He sat there, I wasn't really prepared, and he put the spotlight on me and told the people, put their hands together, give me a few minutes. I did 6 minutes of Facebook and lying, cheating women, and I enjoyed the applause, and people encouraged me to do comedy. So I started attending a writing workshop, and I started writing stuff, and I just enjoyed it. And I'm a people person, so it was natural. It was just a great feeling. I only stumbled on stage once, and I've never looked back from there. It's awesome, man. You know what I mean? I just like comedy. Comedy's great.
Yeah. How long ago was that you got shamed into doing your first bit?
Nearly 8 years ago now.
8 years. Okay. Now, what were you doing before that?
I kept my day job. I did bookkeeping and stuff. I did payrolls for local companies and things of that nature. And then I did appointments and things of that nature during tax season for a small accounting service my wife at the time owned and stuff. So I sat there and I worked with her and I did that. So I did have a regular job aside
Mhm.
from comedy.
So as far as the writing workshops concerned, when you went into that, was that a workshop with a bunch of people local that were aspiring comics and somebody
Yes.
was running it, or so what did you learn from the writing workshop? I'm interested to hear what you learned from that.
What I learned is that most of the stories already are within you. You just have to find the funny aspects of them and place them out there. For
Mhm.
instance, true story. I'm walking out of it may have been a McDonald's or something, and this white woman is walking in, and she looks me dead in my face and goes, "Oh, I forgot to lock my car." Like, fuck. I'm so glad I was able to remind you. You know what I mean? Like, but you know what I mean? But it's just like how awkward it was that she stared me in my face as she said it. Like, I reminded her. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, great. Oh, I forgot to lock my car. So it's just a lot of experiences, and then, whatever you can find that's exaggerated, and
Mhm.
you can find it funny. If you can laugh at it, Scott, others will laugh at it.
Yeah.
And I mean within reason, because there's insane laugh. There's some people laughing themselves, and this is crazy.
Yeah.
But the
Well,
right kind of laugh.
and there's also those things that were absolutely terrible at the time that you thought were maybe gonna kill you, and, after time, they become funny.
Yeah, you know. Oh, absolutely, man. Oh God, we lost Mike. Well then.
Yeah, yeah, I think he was on some McDonald's Wi-Fi, and I know that flips out on me whenever I get on it, so
It's no good. It's like a hospital, dude. It's no good.
yeah. So when we talked last, you mentioned that you were a, New York comedian by the way of Arkansas. How long have you been in New York?
I'm a New York comedian by way of Binghamton. I was making a point last time. You must have got it confused. I was
Okay.
making a point that you always get these. They always like to use credits. Oh, this is a New York City comic. Hey, they failed to realize that it's New York City by way of Arkansas.
Okay.
Understand? You know what I mean? Like he
I
just
get it.
moved there a few months ago, and all of a sudden he's a New York City comic. No, he was a rancher
Yeah,
4 months ago, a ranch hand and shit.
yeah. So so after this writing workshop and you start performing from there, when did you get your, your first real gig?
I got my first real gig from the beginning. My first job was my first gig was my first ever on stage was a real gig. Like,
Oh,
what I mean?
wow.
I got gigs before I actually hit an open mic. You know what I mean? Like I said, I was lucky that I was a natural. It was just so simple. I never realized that your life experiences can be funny. It just depends on how you deliver them.
Mhm,
Delivery is important. I learned, Scott, and every aspect of this comedy situation, delivery is very important.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So so you sit there and some jokes could be um not it could be the just simplest of jokes, and if you deliver it poorly, it's gonna just be a poor joke.
Yeah,
You could take a age old joke and repeat it today. That's over 100 years old. But if you deliver it right, it's gonna fucking hit great.
yeah.
It's all about delivery, and you know.
It's funny, I'm in a lot of groups, and they talk about comedy, and they say that, people aren't naturals at comedy, but you learn it, and the funny thing is I've been, when I knew I was gonna have you guys on, obviously Facebook, whatever, I Facebook trolled you and looked for YouTube videos and stuff like that. I mean, you just seem to just have a natural presence where you're almost storytelling up there and just, saying, "Okay, this is my life, what do you think?" And I enjoy that, and that's the type of comedy I like.
It's the best. You know, there's only so
Yeah.
many times you can exaggerate a joke. You know what I mean? Taking your life experiences and stretching them, fine. You know, there's only so many times you can do a joke about, you know, telling a woman to get in the kitchen and clean this, and you know what I mean. There's so many chauvinistic jokes and shit like that. It's unoriginal. You know, and that's the problem with people being unoriginal. You know, like when we talk about clean comedy, you know, people want to insult people like Jim Gaffigan and stuff like that. Gaffigan's a natural. Comedians, when I love when comedians have a forum and they want to talk about disliking Adam Sandler, his movies, and then they want to talk about and they want to tear down every one of his movies. How bad could his movies be if all you motherfuckers seen every one of them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now you're criticizing them. You know what I mean? Like, how stupid do you look? You've seen every one of his movies and you want to tear him down. Wow.
And
You know,
however you make it, you make it. As long as you're not stepping on people, then
absolutely.
if you make it clean, no matter what kind of comedy, there's somebody who's going to like it. And if you get enough of those somebodies, then you'll do well as a comic. But you gotta find that group of people that are into it, and then get yourself out there, and then you become a draw, and it just goes on from there.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So
Like
it
I
looks
said,
like Mike got on, but he's a little bit frozen.
that's okay though. He thinks he's pretty. That's his move. He wants you to look at him. He's diva-esque. Them damn fucking devices and shit. But yeah, he's got some new technology in the works and stuff. He won't have these issues from now on and stuff after today and shit. So I encourage him to get some new technology because I told him you're only as fast as your slowest device. So
Yep.
you got to get some new technology, you know.
Yeah, he's trying.
He's trying.
Are you back? Are you back, Mike? Maybe.
We can hear you now. We can hear you, Mike. You know.
Looks like he might be driving, so I don't know if I want to distract him. Yeah.
I'm not trying to distract him. Hey, listen, if he had terrible service sitting at McDonald's, ain't gonna be no better rolling away from the motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's what I can tell you.
So thinking about when you started doing gigs, did you do them mostly around town, or did you start traveling right away?
I did them all around town locally and stuff because I didn't know about the aspect of how to get booked out of town and stuff like that. So what happened was I started doing open mics in different cities. We started going to Ithaca and in Albany and Buffalo to do open mics and stuff like that. And so then on top of that, I started getting in competitions, like in Syracuse and Utica and stuff. And you start to get yourself known like that in my book because of the fact that I went to those cities and I don't know people in those cities, and those are popularity contests. So if you come in the top 3, that means you beat out 7 other people from that city who actually bought people to support them.
Yeah.
And so I like that aspect. I feel you get recognized better on that scale because you're not from there. So you're showing them what you're about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm about, showing you what I'm all about.
It's funny. I did a comedy competition like you just right before lockdown. I think it was either the latter part of February or first part of March. I did it, and it's exactly what you said. I went to Grand Rapids, which is a couple hours from me, and everybody brought their friends and stuff like that. And I didn't even place in the group that I was in, but a lot of people came up to me and said, "Hey, you're good. You need to keep it up." And things have happened since then. And I wasn't the crowd favorite, but everybody who came for somebody else came up and said that my set was really good. So that was enough justification for me to keep going.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Mike, Mike, the very first time he was on stage, he sat there, he knocked it out for as long as he did. You know, some people are natural and some people just aren't, Scott.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get some people, you know, we've been traveling and we'll have people open for us and stuff. Oh, this guy's been doing comedy 20 years. Really? Whoa, I couldn't tell you. You know, and I don't mean to be a dick. When I say something like that, you know, I just expected better stage presence, like you say. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we did a show and the guy was hosting it and he didn't even realize the microphone wasn't on. People yelling at him and he thinks they're yelling at him because you can't hear you. You don't know the microphone's not on, bro? You know what I mean? You know, so yeah, you know, life is funny in every aspect of comedy. People think I'm very arrogant, which at the end of the day, I am, because I'm very confident in my skill set. I don't feel that I don't need to explain to people how good I am. I just feel that anything you do will result in that. For instance, our tour was picking up such steam and momentum before the stinking COVID. I mean, we were kicking ass. You know what I mean? And it was just getting stronger. You know what I mean? Who doesn't want to get behind two guys who are touring the country, not only telling jokes and making you laugh, but we're also doing it to raise money for our nation's veterans. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? It isn't about us. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if I didn't do comedy, you know, another day in my life, I'm going to live my life and I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
I want to look out for those who aren't okay. You know what I mean? It's sad that these guys, they strap up this equipment. You know, you sign up, you get shipped to a country where their goal is to kill you at every turn because they don't fucking want you on their soil. And you got to live with that fucking fear every day. Then you finally get back here after being stuck out there 18 months, 22, depends on who you are, depends on what your action is. And you get back here, you can't get the fucking love and support and the financial support that you need to at least help yourself with counseling. Just counseling, let alone living. You know what I mean? I need to be counseled. I need somebody to help me with the psychological torture I've dealt with that I can't escape. And where is that?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's crazy.
It's funny that they recognize PTSD, but they don't really do anything for it. You know, they finally said, "Oh yeah, this is a thing," but it's not anything we can help you with. And that's tough. My son's best friend was a Marine, and he spent some time in I think it was Afghanistan, and you know, it's funny. He came home and he said, "You know, I did all this stuff for the Marines," and he re-upped once, I believe, and so I think he was in for 4 years, and he came back and he said, "You know, I learned all this stuff, but I learned how to kill people and keep from getting killed. That's all I know. So the only thing I can do is really be a police officer." You know, so he did that. He did that for a while, and he's finally decided, yeah, I'm just going to go to college, and so he's using that GI Bill for college.
No, good for him. And you know, at the end of the day, you heard what he said. He said that all he knew how to do was kill people, and you know, and so he thought he'd become a police officer. And then that's a sad thing, because at the end of the day, being a police officer is a lot more than shooting a gun. You need to sit there. You need to have social skills, and if you don't have social skills, you're not going to do well on the street as a police officer.
Yeah,
you won't know how to diffuse situations. You only know how to be aggressive.
Yeah,
and it takes a lot more than aggression to be a police officer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, in the state of Michigan, to become in Ann Arbor, Michigan, to become a police officer, you need 2 years of sensitivity training, like at a local, some local place. You got to take the special testing and grade so much. You have to know how to communicate with people and be sensitive and all this extra shit. So yeah, there's a lot involved in being a police officer. You know what I mean? It's just whoa. And it's sad that even to this day, though, even with all those things, and I imagine Ann Arbor is the only place, that people that's still killing people. Like, jeez, you have the gun. You are armed. You good. You ain't got to shoot nobody, bro, until you're shot at in my bar. Right?
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah.
Fuck, dude. Oh,
Yeah, it's the country's is in a bad spot, and it's not getting any better as far as that's concerned.
oh, hold up. Wait, I'm still here.
Yeah, I
Wait,
got you.
don't. Okay, go, cool. No, I hit something and wanted me to leave. I'm like, no, I hit the wrong button. I'm gonna leaving.
Your yeah, your
You can hear
video.
me. I'm here. Y'all was trying to make me leave. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah,
I was
your
chilling, man.
video
You know, I got
crapped
big
out a
hands.
little bit.
I didn't get my tripod piece or whatever to put on the table. I wasn't thinking. I was messing with a fire stick trying to watch a movie and shit.
Yeah.
And then I got and then Mike hits me up and I'm like, I set an alarm and I got the alarm and shit as he texted me. I'm like, oh, guess this movie will have to wait. Hey, I'm quarantined. Oh, for the record, Scott, went to the doctor yesterday, clean bill of health. I lost 21 pounds during the quarantine. I am kicking ass.
Holy cow. That's great.
That's what I said. I was shocked at myself. I thought for sure I put on weight, but I didn't.
Well, I know I was starting to put it on, so I'm really watching what I'm eating, but I've got um food and I've got no gym membership because I can't go to the gym, and I'm in Indiana. It's been pretty shitty weather here
Oh God.
until this week. It's starting to get nicer, so I haven't been able to get outside. So I went back to intermittent fasting this week, and it's tough.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. It's tough. It's tough not eating in the middle of the night. You know, like I sleep at all hours. You know, like yesterday, I fell asleep at 6 p.m. Woke up at 2:30 a.m. up till 6. You know, what I mean,
Mhm.
here I am at 2:30 a.m. Eating rice and beans. With fucking bananas. With plantains
Yeah.
and shit, having a meal.
Yeah.
At 3 o'clock in the morning and shit. Mike, you're back. Mike, you just keep showing us your nostrils. You bastard.
Yeah. Well, you know what, man? I'm in one of the most rural places in New York, Lewis County. There's only like 9 cases of COVID. Of course, it's like 9 people in the county, but it's one of those. It's like Lewis County, New York, population 9.
All right.
So.
Oh God, 9, huh?
So I've had a good conversation with Ern. So let's talk about how you guys met. How did you guys hook up?
Ern, you know the story better than I do, man. I put the word out there. I needed someone to open up for me doing this fundraiser. So Ern answered the call, and we've been connected ever since, man.
Yep.
And how long has that been?
3 years. About 3 years, right, Mike?
Yeah, we're starting our 3rd year. We started the tour January, a little over 2 years ago. So what was that? 2018 was when we started. So yeah, this is going to be we're starting our 3rd year, and it's been great, man. I mean, it's diverse.
Hello.
We tell people all the time that we're not politically correct.
Yeah.
And I don't think people want politically correct at a comedy show, right? So we warn them. We're going to say some things that are going to offend you, but at the end of the day, we love everybody, no matter what race, religion, or gender preference.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. It's the truth.
Now, the one thing that really interests me about you guys, I don't know if you're familiar with the team of Tom Dreesen and Tim Reed, but Tom says they were the first and only black and white comedy duo, and they started in the 60s. And they did like Chitlin Circuit and stuff like that. And it's funny because they were breaking down the race barriers back then. And the funny thing is we've put a better paint job on it, but things haven't changed a whole lot since then. and I think it's neat that you guys can go out there, and Mike is obviously super white like I am, and putting you guys together, I think really makes a good statement, and I appreciate that.
What's funny is that I'm Puerto Rican and Cuban, so people always look at me as African American first, which at the end of the day, if it came to a lynching, they wouldn't check my ID, correct? Right? But it's funny, Mike and I were at a hotel, and so we wanted like extra soap or something. So I asked the guy, "Hey, can we get some extra soap?" So he like no speaking no English. So I go, nosotros necesitamos más jabón. And he looked at me like, yeah, you ain't getting out of this one, motherfucker. We need some more soap. And shit, Mike looked at me like, you speak Spanish? I go, we've been friends for all these fucking years and you don't know I'm Hispanic? You know what I mean? It's like, and it's funny that I'm friends with people for years and they don't know I'm Hispanic. You know, until I start speaking it and shit. They go, damn.
Oh man,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
great.
He thought he was gonna get out of giving us more soap, Scott. Like, go talk to somebody else now,
Yeah.
motherfucker. I'm Spanish too. No, no English, no motherfucker. I need some more soap. Can I have that?
Oh man, that's great. So I gotta ask. Obviously, it's the big and tall comedy team. I know Big Ern has got to be the big one. I got to ask, how tall are you, Mike?
How tall am I?
Yeah.
I'm 6'2", so I'm not astronomically tall.
Okay.
I'm not like Gary.
But I'm only
tall,
5'6".
But
Yeah.
That makes that motherfucker astronomically tall.
Yeah.
You know?
but I mean, I look at pictures. I took pictures in Niagara Falls with my cousins in Ern, and he was about the size of them. I look like freaking Gulliver, you know. I look like freaking Gulliver from Gulliver's Travels, man. It's like, what? These guys are like little Lilliputians or something. What the freak's going on, man? I'm pretty tall. You know, compared to normal people. My mom was 4'11" on a good day. Okay?
Oh wow.
My dad 5'5", 5'6" on a good day. People are like, "Where'd you get your height?" I'm like, "Well, the insurance guy, the milkman, the postman, we're all tall. I'm not sure. Take your pick."
Oh, no doubt. I'm 6'5", but like everybody in my family was tall on both sides. So, that was going to happen no matter what for me.
I guess in Hispanic
Yeah,
culture,
yeah.
balance
Yeah,
out.
6'5".
My mother was 5 foot. My father was 6'4". So I don't know what the fuck. My brother's 5'8". I'm 5'6". Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened, bro.
Yeah. So one of the things when I'm talking to comics is one of the biggest pains in the ass for them is working with other comics, because you got the headliner that either is late or doesn't show at all, or you got the feature guy that is late or doesn't show at all. They don't like each other, but they have to work for a few weeks. There has got to be some sort of a chemistry between you two, that not only are you good on stage, but you guys got to get along off stage as well, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We do, man. We get along very well. I mean, we're older comics too. I say older, not old, okay? But there's a maturity level to us, and certainly we've grown as the longer we've known each other. We know each other pretty well.
Mhm.
And likes, dislikes, things like that. And so, listen, man, any type of friendship, things like that, it's always a give and take. All right. You don't want to always be taking from somebody. You don't always be given to somebody either. So, we have a great friendship. And, listen, Ernst had friends. He still has friends that he's been friends with since school. Okay. And they still talk. They still hang out. He's had friends for 30 years. I've had friends for 30 years as well. And so you value those friendships because you don't have a lot of those. You got
Right.
people who you're really good friends with. You got people who they're kind of sort of friends, more acquaintances. But when you have those friendships, man, when you click with somebody, and you want to nurture that. You don't want to. We try to just not. We're cool, man. We're cool with each other, and if something, we've had little tips here and there, but we work those out, man. Communication is the key.
Because I don't bite my tongue. I'll tell you like it is, and same way with him. I don't expect you. Listen, if there's something I did and it fucking puts you off, you have to fucking tell me. If not, I'm gonna do it again. You understand what I mean? So we have to let each other know what's what. And then, god damn it, and then, I don't know if you can still hear me, Scott and Mike.
Yeah, keep talking. You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but there's no diva. Like, Mike's the headliner, but he's not a diva. He's like, Ern, you got to do 26 minutes exactly. If you go over or what? Hey, there's been shows I've done 45 minutes. You know what I mean? And no big deal. It ain't no, oh, you fucking cut into my time or whatever. Nah, no. Only if we go somewhere and they're strict about the time. If
Yeah.
not, we're freelancers. We get people who open for us. 3 minutes. Why do 7 minutes if you do it? If you're kicking ass, I won't let you right away. Give you a couple extra minutes. You know what I mean? We don't have to be divas about nothing.
Right.
Our overall successful show is a win for the audience. And if the audience wins, we win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the problem people get. I don't care. We did a show where the opening act or whatever cut into my time. And so I cut my act short to make sure that Mike got his time. You know what I mean? It goes to show you that Mike didn't even know. So after the show, he's like, "Oh shit, Ern, you didn't have to do that." But it isn't because Mike said, "Hey, you cut it to my fucking time." No. It was a consideration on my behalf, and that's what you do as a human being.
Right.
We're human beings who are just doing work at the same time. But at the end of the day, we're fucking human beings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Sucks owning a couple of telephones.
Right.
I think it's great that
Ern
talked about. I think it's great that Ern talked about making the audience happy because I get two different perspectives from comics, and one of them is it's the comic against the audience. The audience needs to get into their court and laugh on their terms, or it's the comedian that is serving the audience and getting them to come on their side by laughing. And it's funny, I hear two different things, and I think the comics that feel like they're serving the audience tend to be the better ones in my opinion.
We like the audience. We love the people, right, Mike? That's what we do.
Yeah. We like to pull them in. We like to pull them in when there's an opportunity. But most of the time, like, people are afraid to sit up front because they're afraid we're going to pick on them. Like, listen, we have these ground rules, okay? It's like, silence your cell phone. If you have to go to the bathroom, use the bathroom. We're not going to pick on you much,
Yeah.
But people are like, I've had women after the show admit to me, like, tell me that I made them pee a little. It's like, you didn't need to tell me that. Why did you? Why did you confess that to me? It's too much information. I actually had a guy tell me, check this out. I do a song. It's a parody of "Take It Easy" by the Eagles. Okay, and it's called diarrhea. I had a guy tell me after the show that he was laughing so hard because he's like, "You ever shit your pants?" And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "I shit my pants." I'm like, dude, just stop.
That's funny.
Okay? Don't tell me shit your pants and all that stuff, man. I don't want to hear it.
I don't know why, but people just confess everything to a comic. I don't know if they feel like they want to be part of a bit or what, but people will tell you anything.
Or Scott, or don't you love it when they try to tell you something? They go, "You can use that in your act." Oh, thank you. I have no fucking material. Thank you. Fucking A, right? They're the best, dude. Those are the best. You can use that one. Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Well, I have to expect that club owners absolutely love the fact that you guys are already a pre-made feature and headliner, like just ready to go, and they don't have to find a feature act to start the show out or be the
that on our own.
whatever.
We do that on our own. We find the feature if we want one. If we want a feature, we will. You know what I mean? We do that. Yep. We don't because it's our tour. You're not allowed to dictate who you put on our show just because you hired us. No, if we don't approve, you don't go. That's the real. If me and Mike, this is our tour.
Yeah.
Ours. So you don't go because you own the venue. Go, hey, you need to put this guy on, and they don't fucking hire us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the cool thing about it. We don't try to be jerks. We just try to be realistic about what you find funny is what we find funny. So let us find our own guy to complement what we're working with.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you guys have been doing it long enough. You probably know people in most of the areas you go that are ready and willing.
There's a few good comics we've worked with that we would love to work with again, and there's a few that I'm okay forgetting.
Yeah.
Nothing personal. They just weren't conducive to what we had going on. I don't like doing a show where it's slow for the first 15 minutes, and here I am, got to bring you back from the dead, literally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but it's cool. No, I'll do it, but it's just, if you're a pretty decent guy and I'm giving you 7 to 10 minutes, knock it the fuck out the park. Act like, you know what I mean? Like, you're opening for Kevin Hart. This is your moment.
Yeah.
You're opening for fucking George Carlin. This is it. This is your time. You know what I mean? You know, if you want us to pass the word along, because people will ask you, "Oh, what about this guy?" Be like, "Oh, well," and they go, "Well, thank you." You know what I mean? So it's important because people are gonna want to. People will ask about you. You know, like, "Oh, you worked with this guy. What do you think of him?" It'd be like, "Well," you know what I mean? So you have to give us something to have to give. You know what I mean? It has to be desirable. You know what I mean? That's all. Hey, I thought, you know, you opening for the Big and Tall Comedy Tour was a privilege in a sense. You know what I mean? You know, you get 10 minutes off the top, off a packed house at most places.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, you get 178 people. Some of these comics haven't even performed in front of 7 or 8 people, let alone 178 people on what? What was that? A Saturday night, Mike? We were in Mount Union, or was that a Friday night? Thursday? I don't know. We picked up the gig in the last like 2 weeks, Scott, and it sold that many tickets, and they had to put people away from the door, literally. People coming to the door still. They go, "Look, can't let you in, man."
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's the best.
So, thinking about some of the places you've worked at, without naming names, what are some of the best? Well, you of course you can name the best ones, but what are some of the best and the worst places you guys have worked at? And tell me a little bit about what made the worst ones worse.
The only thing that makes the worst ones worse, it isn't the venue, it's people. What's alcohol is a motherfucker, right, Mike? Right?
Oh yeah.
What? Oh God, there was one show. It only took 3 women to ruin it.
I'll tell you, you know, anytime you get a room full of prudes, it's not gonna be a good show. You know, like I've had people say to us many times, our show is like geared towards college kids, which is great, man, because I'm starting to book, you know, starting to talk to colleges now. You know, we had a big article come up in the Ohio State newspaper, The Lantern, when we're out in Columbus doing a show for the veterans. By the way, we do a ton of shows to raise money for vets, which is great. We do a lot of VFW. We do a lot of American Legion shows because those are heroes. They're forgotten, and we love raising money for them. But you know, so every one of our shows, like we did a show in Ann Arbor when we were on the Midwest tour in March. That show was awesome, and we always try to make that show better. Can we better that show? Can we better that show? Can we better that show? We're always working it to make the next show a better show than last time. But you know, we've had some great shows. We did a show. I'm not gonna mention any names, but we did a show that we're kind of like a last minute, you know, like insertion into this event. Okay, and really, comedians struggle when they have events like an award ceremony or something like that, because they're not really, people aren't there for that. They're there to have dinner. They're there to get awards, and they want to go home. They don't want a comedy show afterwards, right? And it was a room full of prudes, and our stuff did not go well, you know? And so we're like, well, since this is a show not going bad, let's dial up the dirty, you know?
Yeah.
oh God! Listen,
since it's already bad, let's just make it more uncomfortable for them. Let's make it really, really.
You expected it from me, Scott. All of a sudden, this motherfucker, I don't know who he was. He got possessed. He was so blue. Like, what the fuck? He let them have it. He was memory. They're gonna remember that motherfucker that night. And listen, it was 100-year anniversary of the Legion. And I swear to God, a couple of the women there must have been there when it first fucking opened. They were old. Shit. I was like, dang. I was like, who the fuck? I was like, who made your dress? Betsy Ross, bitch? Like,
That's great.
Betsy Ross made your
Yeah,
dress,
it
Heffa?
was pretty
Holy
bad.
shit.
It was bad, dude.
That's one thing that about comics
Yeah.
is
So
if it's going to be bad and awkward, we all love to make it worse because we know where it's going to go anyway.
yes.
If they're not going to laugh, by God, they're going to remember us.
Hey,
That's
Scott,
No.
there's a comedian I work with.
Just turn up the awkward, man. Just dial
Yep.
it right up, man.
Joey Tepedino, he's out of
Oh, it was
Scranton.
too funny, man. I'm like,
I don't know. He might have
let him
moved by
have it.
now. We had this comedian. It was an open mic. She brought her mother to the open mic. So when you saw this woman, she comes in wearing a fucking fur coat. She had one of those little pom pom things to put your hands. You can tell she did not belong there at all.
Yeah.
So she signed up or whatever, right? So Joey gets on stage, and Joey, we already know who he is. So Joey looks over at us. He gives us the wink.
Mhm.
All right. What's the first words out of his mouth? He's like, so the other night I beat my wife's pussy. Oh, she snatched her purse. Oh, gone. Out the door, bro. but I knew that she was a prude. I knew it. I'm like, why did you bring your mother here?
No doubt.
Did you think?
Were they expecting Ed Sullivan or what?
Like no, but what did she think? Like, because you brought your mother, we were gonna scale it back? Nah, don't bring nobody's fucking parents here. It's on. If I would have brought my mother there, I'd expect you to be at your worst.
Yeah.
So this is who you hang out with? Yeah, mom. Yeah. But the minute he said that, so the other night I'm eating my wife's pussy, we lost it.
No.
We already knew.
That's crazy.
It was like the Great Poupon commercial. She was like, grabbed her shit, it was gone.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Mike was talking to me earlier about some pay-per-view stuff you guys got going on. Can you elaborate on that?
Go ahead, Mike. That's you.
Yeah. So, obviously with this COVID-19, you have to think outside the box, right? So, we had every show. When shows start to cancel one after the other, you're refunding people's money. It's tough, man. It's really a tough thing to go through. And I've been wanting to do pay-per-view for a while. Actually, since I had my comedy club back in like 2012, we wanted to do live streaming and pay-per-view. And so there's a few different services out there, and we found a couple of them that we're experimenting with. But we're doing a show for the Watertown Zoo. We had a show scheduled for April 2nd, obviously was canceled. And it's tough because that one is like in an auditorium, 920 seats. And, when we do fundraisers, they take a portion of the door. We take a portion of the door. We lost a lot of money on that. And so did they. So did the zoo. So we're doing one June 19th. And it looks like as of right now, we're going with viewstub.com. And you can, the link, just viewstub.com/Watertown Zoo. You buy a ticket, it's $20 plus a nominal fee. You're not buying multiple tickets. You're watching it from the comfort of your own home. Don't worry about a babysitter or going out for dinner and drinks and all that kind of stuff like you normally do. And you're supporting a couple of great causes. One is Watertown Zoo in Watertown, New York, and the tour. And it helps us because we're raising money for veterans across the country. And believe me, expenses, hotels, food, gas, our tolls. That is no joke, man. When I say we got expenses, we got expenses. So that helps us get out there to more and more venues, VFWs, American Legions. Yeah. So again, viewstub.com/Watertown Zoo. And you can watch it anywhere in the world. I've got connections now in India. I'm going to get the word out to people in India. They want us to come over there and tour. And people are like, I told them today, people are like, you mean like, is India New York or India, Indiana? No. We're talking the country of India.
Yeah.
So, and I always thought if we go international, probably the first country we're going to go to would be Canada. That would be a natural progression, right? But
yeah.
I'm looking at booking about a dozen in India, which Ern will fit all over there in India because he's, He's got that complexion.
That
I do. I do. I get that butter pecan tan, baby.
So pay-per-view
the funny thing is
I think I want to add pay-per-view to every one of our shows too.
Yeah, that's great. The funny thing is I know some comics from India that are performing in India now, and those audiences absolutely love it when somebody comes from the United States and
From Mike
performs.
said.
Yeah, they totally eat it up. So you guys will do very well there.
Glad to hear it.
Well,
sure,
I think
I did a couple of podcasts with some podcasters in India. It was great, man. Great people over there.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys will do great. One of the things I like to ask all the people that I interview, and just pretend I'm asking both of you at the same time. What 3 things do you know now that you wish you would have known when you were starting out in comedy?
You could go first, Mike.
That's a great question. I mean, I think when I did it, I wish I would have had a little bit more knowledge of comedy, about comedy in general. I kind of was one of those fly by the seat of your pants type of thing, and just you learn as you go.
Mm-hmm.
But I never studied it like some people might read a book or watch videos or whatever. But just to give some helpful advice for people who want to break into comedy, I had a guy on my show, like a lot of guys on my show from this old show called Make Me Laugh. There was Steve Bluestein. Else was on my show, Bruce Baum, who was he's a good friend of Dave Coulier's. And Steve Bluestein was like, Mike, I'm gonna tell you the key to comedy. This is before I broke into the game. He's like, the key to comedy is timing. Timing is everything. And so you want to be a good writer and stuff like that, but some really great guys like Roger, who does the ultimate Robin Williams tribute experience. He looks and sounds just like Robin Williams. If you look up Roger Cabler, and Roger gave me some helpful advice when I was on tour with him about just finding the funny in your bit, in the premise and the setup and the punchline. If it doesn't make you laugh out loud, it's probably not funny. And so all these helpful little tidbits I've learned, if I knew those way back when, because when I first started out, I wasn't, I was okay, I was all right, and I was headlining gigs, but if I would have known back then what I know now, I'd be so much farther ahead now. If that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah.
For me, it was learning not to. To me, that's just what I didn't trust so many people in the beginning. I never realized how many people sit there and they smile in your face in comedy and act like they actually got love for you when they're actually tearing you down behind your back. Being stepping on your entire integrity to get ahead for their own selves. You know what I mean? One of the things I noticed is there's a lot of women low, not a lot, but there's I know a couple of women in comedy now who really aren't funny, but those comics and these promoters will tell them they are for the attraction, in hopes of sleeping with someone. Fuck out of here. All the pussy in the world that you want this unattractive, non-funny bitch, please. That's what happens when you hang around somebody too long. Somehow they become something. So it's just the dishonesty. I never realized the dishonesty and the dramedy in comedy. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of haters. They're not realize that. You know what I mean? So, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, if you can have a thick skin, like I have thick skin, Mike's got thick skin, I can care less what you have, man, to say about me. At the end of the day, if you are exercising your free time talking shit about me, then you ain't got better shit to do in your fucking life now, man.
Yeah.
Talking about Big Ern's fat ass. You ain't got better shit going on then. I'm good. But the dishonesty and the disloyalty is the one biggest thing I would have learned not to put my trust in certain individuals. Not that they really destroyed anything. It's just the whole fact I just hate the dishonesty in anyone. It really would ruin anything we have in the future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's my problem. So, but I learned a good lesson. You know what I mean? Me and Mike, we got this. You know what I mean? We're gonna be a good duo for a long time. We got a lot of good things coming up. Remember, I told you he and I have been working on the mashup and things
Mhm.
like that. We're gonna kick ass, man. The
Yeah.
Big and Tall Comedy Tour is gonna be stronger
Yeah.
than ever. After this COVID, it's over. The Corona better watch it. Big and Tall coming through, baby. She, you know.
That's great. So, if people want to find you on the World Wide Web, what's the best place for them to go?
Sadly, for right now, for Big Ern, it's Facebook. But if you go to Big Ern's page, Big Ern's got Big Ern COVID masks on sale right now with shipping.
I
Holla at me.
saw those.
You like that, Scott?
Yeah.
Hey, brother, you holla at me. I only got a limited number. I think I only got 25 coming. I only got like a limited number. I'm letting people. I got a couple of pre-orders already. You want a Big Ern COVID mask? You holla. You go to Big Ern's page, Big Ern's Roundtable of Comedy.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I
Excellent.
mean? Big and Tall Comedy page with me and my man Mike Biggity Bova.
And I'll put links up for your pay-per-view too. And both of you guys are going to be on the talk show tomorrow night. So it's going to be New York versus Chicago. Two Chicago guys and two New York guys. So this will be
Nice.
fun.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate both of you guys being on the podcast. It was really nice getting to know you. And now I've had everybody on the podcast that's going to be on the show tomorrow night. So I know y'all a little bit. So that always helps.
Fantastic. I look
And
forward to the conversation tomorrow.
Yeah, this actual
we
episode
appreciate
will
it,
go
Scott.
up probably in a few weeks because I'm actually banking a bunch of episodes. I got Mike Palisak actually coming up on Friday. He's my next. Now I got Ian Bagg, Brent Terhune. I got a couple more that I can't remember, and then you guys. So we'll get this episode up. But everybody who's watching, who it looks like 0 on my Facebook right now, but I don't know about my YouTube. Everybody who's watching, tune in tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be doing the BTB Internet Talk Show, which is a lot of fun. My first one was a great time. So thanks a lot for coming on, and I will talk to both of you guys tomorrow.
All right. You have a good one. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, it was nice getting to know you.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. Appreciate it, man.
Peace, everybody.
Bye-bye.